Okay, so we'll have a go at this question 11 where it says that x plus iy squared is equal to 8 minus 6i, and we have to find the values of x and y. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to square out the left hand side. So we're going to use square the first, twice the product, and square the last. Now don't forget that we need to square the y and the I squared, and then we leave 8 minus 6i. Next thing, once we come across an I squared, we make sure and change it to minus 1. So x squared plus 2xyi. Now we're going to put in minus y squared. So what has happened here, we're after putting in a minus instead of minus 1 instead of I squared, which changes that plus into a minus. And we put that equal to 8 minus 6i. So then we start marking off what's real and what's imaginary. So we have x squared minus y squared and 8, which are all real. And then we have plus 2xy and minus 6, which are imaginary. So this gives me x squared minus y squared equals to 8 when I put the reals together. And it gives me 2xy equal to minus 6 when I put the imaginaries together. Now we have two equations and two unknowns, but because we have a multiply in this one here, it means we're going to have to solve them by substitution. So I can pick x or y, so I'm going to go for y. So xy equals minus 3 by dividing across by 2. So that means y is equal to minus 3 over x. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to substitute in everywhere there's y in our first equation. I'm going to substitute in minus 3 over x. So that means I have x squared minus 3 over x to be squared equal to 8. So then I'm going to square out the bracket. So I get x squared. Now remember that minus is still outside that. And I have 9 over x squared. Now it's really important that you square the top and the bottom. So minus 3 to be squared is plus 9. But remember it's still a minus outside all of the fraction. And then x to be squared is x squared. And I'm going to put that equal to 8. Okay, now the next thing then I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply all the way across by x squared. So that's going to give me x to the 4 in the first position. It's going to give me 9 here because I'll have an x squared on the top and an x squared on the bottom, which is just 1. And that's equal to 8x squared. Now this is a quadratic equation, but it just looks a little bit more awkward at the moment. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to bring the x squared into the center, which will give me x to the power of 4. X to the power of 4 minus 8x squared minus 9 equals to 0. Okay, now it's a quadratic equation, but just this time it's in terms of x squareds rather than x's. So the factors of x to the power of 4 are x squared and x squared. And now the factors of 9 that will also work to give me 8. Well, I'm going to need a minus 9 and I'm going to need a plus 1. Okay. Now we put each one of those equal to 0. And this is going to give me x squared minus 9 equals to 0. Or x squared plus 1 equal to 0. So this will give me that x squared is equal to 9. So which implies that x is equal to plus or minus 3. Over here we'll get that x squared is equal to minus 1. So obviously x would be equal to the square root of minus 1. Now this is not possible. And the reason for that is because x is real. Okay, we were told that at the start of our question. Oops. We were told that x is real from the start of our question. It says x and y are an element of the reals. Okay, so now we're going to move it up along and let's have a look. Now that we've solved for x, so we now know that x is equal to plus or minus 3y. So it's only a matter of going back up now and figuring out what y is. We were told y is equal to minus 3 over x. Okay, so if x is equal to plus 3, this implies y is equal to minus 3 over 3, which is equal to minus 1, which implies our first number is 3 minus I. If x is equal to minus 3, this implies that y is equal to minus 3 over minus 3, which will give me plus 1, which implies I have 3 plus I to be the complex number. Okay, sorry, minus 3 plus I to be the complex number. Okay.